guys, Intercambista Austrália podcasts is on the air. You know why I'm talking English with you? Because today is a special day and you're gonna learn a little bit more about Australia. If you want to come to Australia to learn English, stay here because today you will learn a little bit more.
Parou. Seguinte, hein? Hoje que nós vai rasgar inglês. Hoje nós vai rasgar tudo que a gente sabe. Se liga, por quê? Por quê?
É isso mesmo, pessoal. Hoje nós vamos falar um pouquinho de inglês aqui, né? A gente tá saindo da zona de conforto hoje aqui, hein? Hoje vai, porque a gente vai realmente trazer pra vocês uma aula prática de pronunciation. A SCOTS tá aqui com a gente, calma. He's gonna introduce himself.
I'm not looking at you, don't worry. I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking at you.
Yes, wait. Gente, logo ele vai já se introduzir. O pessoal, vocês já vão saber o que tá acontecendo aqui. Tá difícil aqui virar o inglês pro português, fazer esse mix, mas tudo bem. Fica aqui com a gente, que hoje vai ter uma aula super especial de pronúncia. Isso mesmo, convidamos a SCOTS para vir aqui hoje e trazer uma aula prática e vocês realmente vão saber informação real e oficial, o que tá acontecendo aqui na Austrália, para você falar um inglês legal, um inglês bacana. Fica aqui, Will, que hoje nós vamos aprender, vamos?
Hoje vai. E ó, antes de mais nada, já dá o like, já comenta, já compartilha, segue em todas as mídias sociais e fique preparado, hein?
É isso mesmo.
Tá
bom, let's start. Câmera, action. Go.
I'm right there. The only word I understood from you was special, and I loved it. Music to my ear.
Thank you. Thank you so much to be here with us.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to offer this type of content for our clients. Guys, wait there because we're going to put subtitle in Portuguese. But today is a day to learn, okay?
To experiment and talk. Yeah?
Yes.
That's right.
Patki, introduce yourself.
Of course. And don't worry, I'll speak slowly. I'm not going to rush. I'm going to take all my time and I'll try to speak very slow, okay?
Thanks.
Not slow as a handicap, I'll try to speak normally slow. So my name is Patrick Hayeck, and I'm the CEO of SCOTS English College. Your partner.
Our partner,
and we're partners.
Our strong
and
partner.
I couldn't be more proud of our partnership. It's a beautiful partnership, let me tell you. I'm so proud of it. I have a story to tell, of course.
Go.
And what can I say? Look, I've been in Australia for about 22 years.
Oh.
And when I came to this country, I barely spoke any English.
Where are you from?
Barely spoke any English. I was born in Lebanon, which is a Middle Eastern country, as you might have heard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the native language over there is Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
And so very difficult when you speak Arabic as a first language, very difficult to learn English because you don't have the alphabets, like you don't have the ABC. You guys, you deal with the ABCs.
Yes.
French people, Italian, Spanish, they have ABCs. They're familiar with it.
Yes. Yeah.
So when you hear them, even when they speak their own language, you can hear some words that are present in the English language. So it's relatively easier for somebody like that to learn a language. For me, it was like a brand new language, right? And I had to start from scratch.
Wow.
And the reason I had to teach myself, I never sat in an English classroom. I want to tell everybody here. I never actually sat in a traditional English classroom. I never had a teacher of English.
How come?
Did you rehearse that? Did that come out naturally? I'll tell you how come. I think it's all about motivation, first of all, right?
Good.
So Lebanon is a country that had too many wars. It had political issues, economical issues, it had civil wars, and I just wanted to get out of there at any cost. I couldn't stand the idea of me being in Lebanon. The problem is I had no money and I had no English, and I needed both, right, to get out of there, to apply for a student
Something
visa.
familiar with us.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly
Money and
right.
English.
Money and English, right? So I turned to my parents. My parents were not able to support, to be honest. They're not really financially solid to be able to support my studies in Australia. So I had to sell my car and I had to, teach myself. I couldn't go to school, so I had to figure a way out to teach myself to pass the TOEFL test. Because if I had not passed it, there's no way on earth I could have got my visa. That was the main condition, right? To pass the TOEFL test.
But
What kind of visa did you come when?
When I came here,
When you came here first time.
I came here as an international student, and I came here to do a master's in communication.
Oh, okay.
So for me, it was not. I didn't have the luxury to study English like everybody. You know, I had to start with a master's degree. If I'd applied for visa to study English, it would have got rejected. It would have got rejected right away because Lebanese people, not easy for Lebanese people to apply for a visa, for a student visa.
Okay.
It would need to be for higher education.
Even today?
Yes.
Ooh.
Even today. Actually, it's even harder now
Okay.
than before. So I had to pass that test, and I knew that if I couldn't get myself to an upper intermediate level,
Yep.
you know, there's no way I could have got the visa. So, no money to go to school. The only way for me, I thought, what am I going to do? The only thing I could do is buy a novel called The Fountainhead, written by Ayn Rand, who was a Russian-American author. So I bought that novel, and I read it, the same novel, 6 times. And I was at an elementary level. I read it 6 times. Every time I would look up the words in the dictionary, analyze the grammar, like, you know, all the present simple and past perfect and conditionals. I had no idea they were called that. I had no idea they were called present perfect or present simple. All I knew is I was seeing patterns. I was seeing patterns in the book. And I needed to understand the meanings, you know, the plot, the story, the characters. I had to figure out the language that way. And that's the most organic way to learn the language. You need to understand. It's the need to understand, to make sense of what you're experiencing there. So within 6 months, I took my level from elementary to upper intermediate. I did the TOEFL test. I got the average required, equivalent to 5.5 or 6.0 on the IELTS.
Wow.
And I applied for a visa, and I got my visa.
Wow.
Right?
I'm quite impressed because you came from Lebanon and you don't have the accent from the Arabic speaking.
That's
Not
why
at all.
he's here.
Not at all.
And you don't have the Australian accent. You have
That's
the
right.
American accent.
That's right. That's right. That's exact. And that's. Let me tell the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Right. So I came here. My grammar was okay. My writing skills were okay. Reading skills were okay. You know, my writing was. I wouldn't say it was perfect, but it was okay. But what I noticed was that even the very first interaction with an Aussie in this country was a complete shock to me. It was a bus driver. The very first day I got here, and I had to learn how to catch a bus, you know, to go to university. I went up to the bus driver. I said, can you tell me how I can go to that campus? And he just mumbled something back. He just says something like, okay, man, you gotta do something, yeah. And he speaks like through his nose, very nasal, sounds like a 100, you know, back then I had no idea what he said, to be honest. I had no idea what he said. All I heard was, mate. I heard mate, I can tell you that, I heard mate, but I had no idea what he was saying. And I thought, wow, could my English be that bad? I mean, I passed a test. Why can I understand what he says?
Yeah.
Why is it so hard? And I was just getting shocked every day. I was getting more shocked and more disappointed with my English, which I thought was okay. And so 3 months later, you know, a bunch of classmates at university, and they invited me to join them to a camping trip, you know, in Kiama. They said, you know, come out with us, you know, we're going to spend over the New Year's Eve, we're going to spend it over there, we're going to have fire, you know, and all that, we're going to sit around and muck around. Oh, great, I want to practice my English. I want to have, you know, it's a great opportunity for me to practice my speaking skills. Wow. So I welcome the opportunity, and, you know, I go with them. And there we were, sitting around the fire, you know, having a chat. And they were just, you know, half tanked. They were completely drunk. And they were, you know, just joking around and speaking super fast. Super fast. You know, they're drunk, like they're not aware of what they're saying, right? And they're just like taking the piss out of each other and, you know, making fun of each other and all that, and making fun of me. And I had no idea what they were saying, right? And coming from Lebanon, and I was an actor, and Will, you are. You know, being an actor, you're confident, right? And you enjoy talking to people. You know, you're sociable. You're not scared, you know, being surrounded by people and all that, right? Yeah. And in Lebanon, I could talk about whatever the hell I wanted. You know, if you talk to me about politics, I could talk about politics. Economy, I could talk about economy. Philosophy, I could talk about philosophy. You name it, I can talk about it. I'm a very talkative guy. I was a very talkative guy in Arabic.
Yeah.
But here, I was nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. I was insignificant. And that killed me. Because being an actor and insignificant, you know how it feels, right?
That's exactly what I feel like when you cannot
That's it.
communicate yourself, when you cannot express
It
your
destroys you.
feelings. Destroys me.
It destroys you. And I just couldn't tolerate that. So I was so humiliated to the point that I stood up. I said, guys, I'm not feeling well. I'm sorry. I got to get out of here. I got to go. I'm not feeling well. And they looked. They said, are you out of your mind? It's 11 p.m. You're not going to find a train probably. We're not sure if there are trains. Sit down. Stop being an idiot. I said, I'm not. I can't. So I just had this. I went to the station. Luckily there was one last train. I caught the train, head back home, and I made a promise to myself I would never go out with native speakers, you know, unless I feel like I can be at the same level.
Cool.
That was the promise I made to myself. And so now I thought, okay, what did I do when I learned English in Lebanon? What did I do to actually improve my, you know, reading skills and writing skills? I thought I need a different strategy. This time my strategy needs to focus on speaking and listening, you know, because they're not good enough. So I went home and I thought about it and I thought, okay, I chose a book the first time. This time I'm not going to choose a book. I'm going to choose a song. And not any song. I'm going to choose a rap song. Why? Because rap is the fastest form of speaking. If I could crack that, all right, if I could understand that, and if I could speak like that at the same speed, then problem solved maybe, right?
Oh.
So nowadays I'm very struggling listening rap because they don't just speak fast, but they speak a lot of slang.
That's right.
And I feel like, okay, it's nice, the sound, I can understand a few words, but not the whole sentence.
Not the whole thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then the most difficult aspect was that they're doing things that, you know, we as learners, we don't learn about. They are things that they delete sounds. The way they produce a rhythm and the way they put the stress on the words and what parts and the way they mix the words together, connect the words together, it's something that nobody teaches you about. Nobody knows about. Native speakers don't know. If you come up to a native speaker and say, do you realize that you're doing this when you speak? They say, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're saying. If you come up to a teacher, a regular teacher, not a pronunciation teacher, a regular teacher, say, do you know anything about connected speech? They have no idea. They probably cite some examples, but they would have no...
Because that's normal for them.
Exactly right. So if you ask me, how do you speak Arabic? I wouldn't know how to tell. I mean, it's my language. I was born with it. Yeah, and like Portuguese, like any other language. So I found out there are things that you could learn. And so that's what I listened to one rap song that was Lose Yourself by Eminem. You know, the guy with the blonde. It's not blonde anymore. I think he changed his hair right now. But anyway, he was like a big thing.
The white guy but among the black ones.
I don't want to play the race card here. But yeah, he's a genius, you know, when it comes to rhyming and the way he rhymes and all that. And I just fell in love with listening to rap as a learner. I wanted to understand how he's doing it.
Did you take the subtitle or?
Yes,
okay.
the lyrics.
Okay.
I had the lyrics on the screen and I kept listening to it over and over and over again. Every time, I started to realize, look what he's doing. He's not saying this sound. Oh, look what he's doing. He's connecting these two words together. Look what he's doing. And so it just hit me. You know, there were so many things I had no idea that an average speaker would be doing. And I taught myself how to do that. So 3 months later, I could follow his speed. Probably I didn't sound as good as he did, I can tell you that. But, you know, I could actually follow him. And that was fantastic. And then what I noticed was that as I was listening to other songs, other rap songs, I was able to understand more. So the time was getting shorter. So it took me 3 months the first time, 3 months. Next time, it took me much less than that. Yeah. And then every time I tried, it was like at some point, it took me a day to be able to actually master a rap song, right? And that was fantastic.
Do you realize any improvement in your day, like Or
Yes.
just going to listen some song?
Yeah, well, I was able to understand native speakers.
Okay,
right?
that's a good point.
So if
yeah.
I'm in the classroom, my friends would be talking, or the lecturers, they speak very slow
Yeah.
anyway, because they got international students. They speak to you like an idiot. It's like, do you understand what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's like I'm not a retard, right?
It's something fun because at school looks like I was understanding everything the teacher was saying.
Yeah.
It looks like yes, I can understand
Of
English. You know what I mean? But
And they speak louder. It's like I can hear you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
High level.
but at work, oh my god,
Yeah.
it's horrible.
Yeah,
And you give the example of getting a bus.
Yeah.
And once I was in Manly, and I was going to Manly, and I just asked the driver, and I will do exactly what I did. Going to Balgola, and the bus driver, what do you mean, mate? I say, Balgola. Balgola, mate. Balgola. I say, Balgola, mate. Why you don't understand?
You got it.
Balgola, mate. So the pronunciation for them sometimes they try to make difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, Aussies
sometimes
are unique,
make a lot of difference as well.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's no doubt Australian accent is, very unique, right? It's very different from American or British, but there are some common features that all English speakers have. It doesn't matter where you're from, whether you're from Australia or America or Canada or whatever, wherever you're from. There are some common features of native English that you're not taught about in a traditional classroom, and that's the problem. And the problem is that these are connected to you improving grammar and vocabulary, because listening is at the heart of it. That's how babies learn the language. Mm-hmm. They start with listening first. How do we hear our mothers, when they speak to us, from birth? Open your mouth, here comes the spoon. And they repeat that so many times. Yeah. And then, it gets engraved there in your brain, right? You will never forget these words anymore. And so you go to school, your teacher speaks to you like this. Everybody, spoon feeds you the words, right? Mm-hmm. And without you being conscious of it, you pick it up. You just pick it up. That's it. So listening is at the heart of it. You have to build up your vocabulary by improving your listening first. And then listening comes as the next stage, and then reading, and then writing. But what happens in Brazil and Japan and China and every single country that teaches the language, they start with writing first.
Yeah. Exactly.
No! It's unnatural.
Yeah.
It's unnatural. We don't learn the language like that.
Yeah.
We don't. So that's the problem. And so back to where I was with the rap and all that, it just gave me that super ability to make sense of what I'm being told.
And I think for this reason, because if you first learning how to write the words, for example, you just read the words exactly in our language.
Yes.
Right. You don't know how to pronounce it. It's very difficult.
That's right.
To change the mind if you learn some word right.
English spelling and sounds are completely different. So we use 26 letters in writing. You got 26 letters. You got 44 sounds in the English language. So what does that mean? That means you need to use more than one letter to spell one sound. So for you, if you rely on the letter, if you are depending on the letter, you're not going to figure out how to say a word because there's no connection between the sounds and the letters, right? So anyway, after focusing on the rap and all that, I remember 8 months after that, and I bought some books on slang, and you spoke about that, you brought that up, the slang issue. It is a big issue for a lot of people. Idioms, big thing, phrasal verbs.
Expressions.
Yeah, all these things are very important. So I got some books, and I, went over them and all that. 8 months later, I went for my very first job interview, like formal interview as a telemarketer, which I really hate. I detest that job, but you got few options as an international student. So I went for it, and the first question that I heard from the manager, so Patrick, whereabouts in America were you from? We were born. Whereabouts in America were you born? I said, I've never been to America before. He said, huh?
Wow.
His jaw hit the floor. I could see the utter shock in his eyes. Like he couldn't comprehend. He said, so you spent some time there. Did you go to school? He said, no, I've never been. I had to repeat myself. I've never been there. I've never set foot in America. He said, why do you sound American? You're here. Yeah. I said, well, it's a long story, but you guys sound weird. So
my brother-in-law learned English the same way of you. Just watching YouTube music, especially music. And his accent is American as well.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah, it works.
And look, I always say, accent does not matter, right? You can sound, you can pick up any accent you want. You can use any accent you want.
Yeah.
It's really irrelevant. It doesn't matter. But learn how to express yourself.
Especially in my field, the industry always asks for
mate,
American.
it doesn't matter. Come on, mate. What are you saying here?
About Gala, mate.
Where are you going?
Where you going? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Took so long to know how to write. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? And I don't know. Not I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So, see, the lips don't move. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
They always say, know what I mean? Know what I mean? Know what I mean? I said, how to write?
Know what I mean?
Know what I mean?
Sorry, guys. I know.
What
the fuck is that? I know.
Fair income.
I know.
Patrick,
I know.
I've got a question for you. The fact that you are actor, do you think did it help you to pick up the accent or
yes. No, I think it does have some relation. There's no way that wouldn't have played some factor. It would have played a role, because actors are good at mimicking, right? So you've got to be able to mimic, but but it's not everything. And I know a lot of actors that can't do that, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how much you train them.
How much
they don't get the accent, and they don't get the English language anyway, even if they happen to be actors from different countries, right? I'm not talking about Will, I promise. He's good. His English is fantastic. So but you're completely right there. Being able to mimic, to copy people is critical, right? To be able to build up your vocabulary very quickly and to sound who you want to sound like. And the reason why I want to sound like American, not because America was a place that I desired to go to, when I was a kid. I wanted to go to Hollywood. As an actor, you aspire, right, to be a Hollywood actor. You want to go to Hollywood. And then, as you go through life, you realize that, you've got circumstances that would prevent you from doing so. Mm-hmm. And so, I realized that I was not going to really go to Hollywood, but by that time I'd already got the accent. So I think if I hadn't had that dream, I probably wouldn't have now the American accent. I would be speaking like any of those guys. You know what I mean? I would sound like that. But no, I'm happy that I sound the way I do. But I think it's irrelevant. You can sound whichever way you want.
We're just talking about the accent, but it's fabulous.
It
love
is.
it.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Very good.
No, it's great. But becoming a teacher, I worked with Optus for many years. I was a customer service officer over there. I kept doing the same old job. It was so boring. I was getting bored out of my wits over there, sitting behind a desk doing the same kind of work. And I thought to myself, I can't do this. I can't keep doing this. I need to get out of this. And I thought, what do I enjoy doing? I taught myself English. I think I would want to teach somebody how to do that too. So that's how it occurred to me to become a teacher. So I went back to university. I did my master's in TESOL. And then after completing that, I got my first teaching job. But even when I became a teacher, they gave me a textbook, right? They said, teach from that textbook, which is fair enough. Okay, old schools have textbooks, and that's fair enough. Mm-hmm. But I noticed that the students were just getting fed up. They just had enough of seeing textbooks. And I thought, there got to be a better way to do this. Some people have been studying for 1 year and 1 year and a half, and they can't even put a couple of sentences together. Something is wrong there, right? Yeah. So I thought, I'm going to create my own course. So I went up to the director back then, and I said, I want to create my own curriculum. He said, do you even know what a curriculum is? I said, yeah, I know what a curriculum is. I want to create my own course. He said, well, if you think you can do it, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. Go ahead and show me what you can do. So I created my very first pronunciation course. And I thought that was going to be different from any other course anybody has ever seen. And that's based on the method that I used to learn English, to teach how I taught myself English. Pronunciation and communication.
Yeah.
The method called BBR, right? And that stands for block, build, and rewire. Block, we're blocking the old speaking habits. Build, you're building new speaking habits. And you're rewiring your brain, how your brain deals with the language, how your brain processes the language. And so that became the foundation of the pronunciation and communication course, which is a 10-week course. It's a great course. We can talk a bit more about it later,
Great. Do you have any question?
A lot.
Because,
How can I start?
Because we have, I think, a few students here.
So let's show for them
how it works.
What do you think?
I'm excited about it. Let's do
go.
it. I don't want to terrify anybody, but we'll have a crack at it. Because I think the first impression, the student's first impression, usually they're taken aback because nobody's ever corrected them that way before. So they might be out of context. If you're not in a classroom, if you don't prepare the students and explain to them what we're doing, they might be a bit apprehensive about it. Like, why you're screaming at me, why you're correcting me, why you're asking me to repeat myself all the time. So it could be a bit shocking, as a first time, but they get used to it.
Oh, well, let's
right.
learn it.
Let's
Let's
go
have
the first
fun.
one.
You are here
Let's
just
have
to learn
fun.
it. That's okay.
E aí, galera, tá curtindo? Estão curtindo? Ó, estamos rasgando tudo, hein?
Estamos
O homem aqui é
rasgando.
brabo.
Aula de inglês mesmo.
Vai pegando essa ideia toda aí, ó. Depois segue lá, ó, Scott no Instagram. Segue, vamos colocar todo o Instagram, contato aqui de todo mundo, para vocês manterem o contato, procurar mais informações e cada vez mais se aperfeiçoando, hein? Tamo junto, segue
É isso
o
aí,
jogo.
galera, fica aí.
I don't know what that guy's saying, but I love what he's saying.
Pessoal, fica aí que agora a gente vai mostrar pra vocês. O Patrick tá aqui pra realmente mostrar desse método, né? Que é de comunicação, de pronunciation em comunicação, que ele mesmo criou esse curso. E a Scott agora tá com esse curso. Agora não, já tem um tempinho que tá com esse curso. E a gente quer saber se na prática, como isso funciona. É óbvio, gente, que não vai dar pra mostrar uma classe inteira aqui, uma aula inteira. Mas a gente só quer pegar algumas diquinhas pra vocês terem uma noção que tem outros caminhos pra aprender também. E nós estamos aqui pra aprender, hein, Will? Vamos aprender. Vamos aprender com a galera.
É isso aí. Depois, ó, coloca lá no comentário se você gostou que trouxemos aqui alguém, o Native Speak English. Native não, né? Que eles veio do árabe.
Like that.
Mas,
like that.
falando inglês, que quem sabe a gente começa a trazer mais pessoas para vocês também ter mais esse contato com a língua inglesa.
Com a língua, exatamente.
Tá
a informação real oficial hoje para vocês. Então nós vamos, let's invite some students to get in with
Quem é a primeira? Pode vir.
Letícia Serrat.
Letícia, venha.
Yeah.
Come on.
Pode sentar aí, Lê.
Do you think we can just ask her in Portuguese some question, for example? Or
It's up to you. Are you okay to speak just in
yeah,
English?
she can speak English. Yeah.
So let's
I
keep
actually
let's keep
prefer
trying.
to start to speak English, otherwise I'm gonna swipe too much.
Yeah, that's great.
Letícia, first of all, thank you so much to be here. I know it's not easy, like to be tested in front of the
No.
camera, but you are here just to learn. That's
Yes.
why Patrick is here. Everyone is here, of course, to learn, right?
Yeah.
You just should like to show for them this class, this
Yeah.
technique, and the magic.
The magic. That's what it is. It's magic.
Okay.
Okay. So shall we? So Leticia, I'm going to, hand you over a piece of paper, and you can see on that piece of paper you'll find a couple of sentences there, right? So what I would like you to do is simply read them as you see them. All right. I mean, I would like you to say them as to the best of your ability without reading. Of course, you're reading because you're reading, right? But since that's something that usually people, speak and say, I'd like you to try to say it as naturally and as fluently as possible,
Okay.
if you could.
So, I've been single for way too long. If you hadn't broke up with your girlfriend, I would have asked you to join us last week.
Okay, great. So Leticia did what most learners would do, right? She read to the best of her ability. Mm-hmm. She said, if you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend, I would have asked you to join us last week. The thing is, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, because that was just a rehearsal. Maybe the second read is gonna be better.
Do you want to have another crack at it? Do you want to have another crack at it? Try it again.
I've been single for way too long. If you hadn't broke up with your girlfriend, I would have asked you to join us last week.
Great. Okay. Of course, the more you repeat, the better. You know, the better you get. However, so unless somebody tells Leticia that when native speakers say this, there are things that you may not hear, you may not be able to pick up. For example, would have asked. You're not going to find a native speaker saying would have asked. They're going to say would have asked.
Oh my goodness.
Would have asked. Would have asked.
Would have asked.
Okay, so let's start from if you hadn't, okay? So if you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend, and so you will not be able to stop between if to the comma. Do you see how you got the comma? An average speaker would not stop there. This is one chunk that you need to produce without stopping, without a breath. You cannot take a breath. You have to say, if you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend.
If you hadn't broke up with your girlfriend.
Okay, now she said broke up, and it's not broke up, it's broken up. So broken is past perfect of break. And even though you can see the word, you still couldn't say the N. Why? Because in Portuguese, it's not common to have an N and say N at the end of the word. Yeah. So that's why you deleted it without even knowing. You didn't notice that you deleted it. So how about you try again? This time say, if you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend.
If you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend.
Okay. And how about you punch the word hadn't a bit better, because it's negative and you need to show people that you are stressing the negative. If you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend.
If you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend.
Okay, so you sound a little monotonous, like a little flat. You're saying, if you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend. But I want you to say, if you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend.
If you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Okay. So Leticia, we were just trying to demonstrate to, our average learner out there, what is different about the pronunciation and communication course, right? I want to demonstrate that by focusing on the sounds of the language, you'd be able to understand better, and you could, speak faster. And by speaking faster, you're getting more fluent, you sound more natural, but you can even improve your vocabulary and your grammar by doing that. So let's just give everybody a bit of demo, right? I'm going to ask you to say a sentence that you have there in the piece of paper you have. If you had not broken up with your girlfriend, I would have asked you to join us last week, all right? I'd like you to give it the best shot you've got. I'd like you to say it as fluently and as naturally as you can.
Okay. If you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend, I would have asked you to join us last week.
Okay, so I would have asked. So what's happening here? I'm saying I would have. I'm not saying would have. And I'm connecting the v in would have with the a in asked. So would have asked. So you're going to hear vast. And a lot of learners are not going to hear that detail, right? So say I would have asked. And don't say asked. Nobody can say asked. Nobody can produce that, right? Native speakers don't say that. They say asked. Like asked. All right? So don't worry about the k. Say asked. So I would have asked you to join us last week. And don't say the t in last. Say last week. So if you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend, I would have asked you to join us last week. The challenge is for you to say all this without stop. If you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend, I would have asked you to join us last week. Can you say that?
Okay. If you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend, I'd ask. Sorry.
Okay.
Well done.
Go there.
You can say you can say I'd have asked. You can say I'd have asked, or I would have asked. You can say either of the two. So I'd have asked, I'd have asked, or I would have asked. I would have asked. I would have asked. I would have asked you to
Guys, I just want
rap.
to say that
Out of vest.
that is hard. Looks like so easy. I've asked. No, it's
I'd have
hard.
asked.
It's quite like we say in Portuguese, it's trava-língua.
Tongue twister, right?
Yeah, so keep that in mind. Let's go.
Okay, go.
I'd vest.
I would have asked.
I would vest. I would vest.
Okay, no. So you're saying I would vest. It's not I would vest. I would have asked.
I would have asked.
Okay, so I'm saying
would have
I
asked.
would have asked. I'm producing
I
4
would-
syllables. We call them syllables.
would.
I would have asked.
I would have asked.
Okay, I would have asked you, and you hear when I
I
say
would have
asked
asked
you,
you.
I'm saying asked you,
you.
chew. It's like I'm saying chew, right? Why? Because I got t in asked.
I
By the way,
asked
it's ed, but it's not ed, it's t,
did.
right?
asked
So asked you.
Asked you.
Okay,
I would
good.
have asked you.
Asked
I
you
would have
to
asked
join us, to join us
to join us
last week.
last week. I
So
would-
let's put all that together. So now what do you got to
would
remember?
ask.
You have to remember to punch hadn't, because hadn't is negative. So if you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend, I would have asked you to join us last week. I would have asked you, and I'm making asked you longer because asked you is a verb. I don't care about would have. Would have, those are grammatical terms. Those are grammatical words. Those are function words. I don't care about function words. I care about content words. And asked is a verb. That's a content word. That's why you gotta punch it harder than all the other words. Okay, so I would have asked you. See, I say it fast because it doesn't matter. But then I take my time when I say asked. I would have asked you to join us last week.
I would have asked you.
Say the whole thing right now.
Okay. If you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend, I would have asked you to join us last week.
That's getting better. Every time you repeat it, it's getting better. Can I ask you, and I know you're a bit shy because you got the camera, you got the mic here, but can I just ask you to put some emotion into it? Maybe you're angry at that friend of yours because, he broke up with she's a very nice girl, and he broke up with her, and he shouldn't have done that. Did you hear what I said? He shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have done that. That's what I said now.
Yep.
He shouldn't have done that. So you're angry at him. Hey, if you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend, I would have asked you to join us last week. But you did, you idiot. Maybe I'm talking from experience here. Right, go ahead.
Yeah. If you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend, I would ask you to join
You-
us.
that was fantastic.
That's great.
That
Love
was
that.
fantastic. But you deleted one syllable. One syllable. I would have asked.
I would have asked.
Don't, yeah, I want to hear, because that has to do with grammar. If you say, I would have asked you, that means you produce correct grammar. If you don't say, I would have asked you, that means you didn't say have. If you delete have, that means it's wrong structure. It's a wrong structure.
Yep.
So, one more time. You're getting there, all right? You say all this without break, you win, all right? If
Can
you
you-
hadn't broken up with your girlfriend, I would have asked you to join us last week.
Can you just say this sentence
Yeah.
again?
I would have asked you. I would have asked you. I would have asked. I would have asked. I would have asked. I would have asked you.
I would have asked you.
Yeah.
Okay.
One more time, go.
If you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend, I would have asked you to join us.
Yes, stop.
Hang on.
Look out well.
Look at me.
Look out well.
am.
Yeah, that's it.
Action.
That's your motivation right there.
Tell me, what do you have to say to me?
If you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend, I would have asked you to join us last week.
Getting there. Well,
What's good?
I've got a line for you. I've got a line for you here. You say, I've been single for too long. That's it's unbelievable, by the way. Nobody's gonna believe that. But yeah, you say, I've been single for way too long. That's your line, okay? That's your line. I've been single for way too long.
I have been single for way too long.
If you hadn't broke up with your girlfriend.
Not broke up. Broken up. One more time.
Okay, all right.
Repeat, Will.
Again.
I have been single for way too long.
If you hadn't broken up
You
with
stopped again.
If you hadn't broken up with your girlfriend, I would ask you to join us last week.
Oh, beautiful.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
Love that.
Leticia,
Well done.
that was awesome. That was awesome. How did you feel?
Nervous.
Of course. But have you ever done something like this? Have you ever been able to produce such a big chunk,
Yeah.
that many words in one breath? Have you ever done that before?
Well, only my language.
That's
I think
exactly
too
right.
fast.
That's my point. That's what we do in our first language, right? We just simply go. You don't think about every single word you utter. You're not aware of what you're saying. You have the idea, but words come naturally, and you speak words in like blocks of words. You don't actually think about every single word separately, and that's what we do in English. And why? Because we are relying on translation.
Yeah.
We're thinking in Arabic, we're thinking in Portuguese, and we're translating to some degree. Now, of course, advanced students do it less and less. They don't translate as much, but they do translate still, and they're speaking as they speak English as it is written, not as it is spoken, right? That puts a limit on how quickly you can learn your grammar and how quickly you can learn your vocabulary. Because if you train your ears in hearing those little nuances, even on a train, you hear native speakers speak, right? And you're able to understand what they're saying. If you're able to understand what they're saying, guess what's going to happen? You remember what they say, you can use it in your conversation next time. That's how you build up your vocabulary, by understanding what people say.
Makes sense.
But if you don't understand what people say, then you're relying on books. You're relying on things that you're reading.
Yeah, makes
Especially
sense.
because during the test that we need to take for our English, they don't speak in the same as we read.
That's exactly right.
They speak really fast, and sometimes you don't catch up any contraction.
That's exactly right. Contractions, connected speech. So would have asked you, would have is contraction, right? But we're linking the v in would have to a in asked. That's an example. That's only a tiny example of so many things we do when we speak. We connect, we join those sounds together. And so they create new words. For example, if I say I wake up, think about it. I wake up. I'm saying cup. So if your listening is not very good, you think I'm saying a cup? But it's not cup. I'm saying wake up. So it's wake up. So do you see how I'm producing new words by connecting those words together? As far as you can hear, I'm saying things that may they have different meaning to you, to your ear, right? You don't know exactly what I'm saying because I'm connecting those words together. So all that plays a huge role in somebody's ability to understand and to speak freely in second or foreign language. That was fantastic.
Fantastic,
really.
yeah.
I'm very
Great
proud
work.
of you.
Great work. Seriously, good. Maybe we can try another student.
Another student? Yeah.
Let's go.
Do we have time?
Yes, we
Absolutely,
have. Let's
yeah.
go.
I'd love to do
One
that.
more, right?
Absolutely. That was the word that a teacher at school in North Sydney College or something like that.
Yeah.
He said to me, Will, say it. Absolutely. And I say, absolutely. No. Absolutely. Absolutely. No. And he stayed like, I would say 5 minutes with me trying to say absolutely. For me, I was saying absolutely.
Yeah.
Say, no, you can't say, you can't. Oh my God, forget it. You won't get it.
That's it. So that's what you raised. You raised a very, very important point, Will, because that's something I've seen over and over and over again. Many teachers, because they don't know how this is done, they simply repeat words and they expect the student to repeat after him correctly. It doesn't work like that, because like she's an adult. She's not a baby, right? She cannot pick it up just like that. She needs that feedback. You need somebody to tell you exactly what's happening inside the mouth. What am I supposed to do with my tongue? What am I doing?
Yes.
Tell me what I'm doing wrong. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
And they don't tell you because they don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
They have no idea.
Uh-huh.
And when you push them too hard, they get sick of it. Like, leave me alone. That's it.
Yeah.
You're hopeless. You're not going to get it. No, you're hopeless. I'm sorry. You are a hopeless teacher. I'm not a hopeless student. And I hate that because I was a student and I hate, for teachers to have that attitude. Learn how to teach the language. Nothing is impossible. Look, in 1954, if I'm right, a runner called Roger Bannister shocked the world when he was the first person to run a mile in under 4 minutes. The first person. Before that, there had been that collective mental barrier. Everybody thought that was undoable. It was impossible to do. So, physiologists and scientists, they thought, this is impossible. Nobody can do it. It's inhumane. No human can do it. He was the first person who did it. After he did it, 24 runners probably have done it ever since. It took one person to get everybody to understand and believe that there's no such thing as impossible. Humans can do whatever they set their mind to. Anything. So when somebody told me when I was learning, they said, you're an adult, you're not going to sound like a native speaker. He gave me a book to tell me that read this and you'll see why you cannot do it as an adult. I said, I'm not going to do this. I don't care about your books.
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me what I can do, what I cannot do. If I want to do this, I will do it. And I did it. And I'm telling you right now, and I'm telling every single learner I know, and that's my vocation, that's my mission, that's my passion. If you've got the motivation, if you got the motive, if you got the motivation, nothing, and no one can stop you. Nobody.
Just yourself.
That's it. It's your choice.
Let's
Sorry,
go!
Let's go!
Uhul!
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Gente,
Valeu, Lelê.
fica aí, gente, que tá muito legal, tá muito bacana. Olha, tô fritando a cabeça aqui, tá?
Eu tô adorando
tá
isso,
legal,
cara.
viu?
Muito bom, muito bom, muito bom.
Fica por aí pra você aprender um pouquinho, pra você ter uma noção do que realmente, né, as escolas estão oferecendo aqui na Austrália. Essa foi a intenção. Métodos novos, não ficar aí só no, né, no dia a dia, no que tá acontecendo. Não deixar as pessoas falarem o que você é capaz ou não. Tá tendo uma mentoria aqui também, né? Porque o pessoal ó, tá motivando. Então, fica por aí que nós vamos pedir pra Clarinha entrar aqui também. Letícia arrasou, amamos, né? Foi legal, hein, meu?
Foi ótimo.
Gostei. Clara, vem com a gente, que agora é your
Clara!
turn!
Next
Your
victim,
turn!
next volunteer.
Tudo bom?
Sim, eu tô.
Tá
com
nervosa?
vergonha.
Relaxa, fica
Eu
tranquilo.
também.
Todos.
Primeira vez na frente da câmera.
Yeah, but just enjoy. You are here to learn. Yeah, Patrick is here just to teach us a lot of
Yeah.
things, okay? Take your time if you want to repeat, if you want to...
Okay,
Yes,
that's it.
yeah.
Okay.
You are friends.
Okay, great. So Will, we're going to use you to say that first line.
Okay.
I didn't go to Aaron's party, all right? That's all you have to say. I didn't go to Aaron's party.
Is it the same phrase?
It's not.
That's another
Okay.
phrase.
It's kind of same grammar, but it's a different,
Okay.
the different set of words,
Yeah.
okay?
I didn't go to Aaron's party.
This is the last.
So now you're going to have to answer him, right? So he said, I didn't go to Aaron's party. Is that? No,
But
sorry,
this
it's
is the
not.
same?
No, that's the one. Sorry.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I was like, am I supposed to answer that?
Not the same thing.
You gotta read it first and then just as a
Yeah,
rehearsal.
yeah. If you want to take a second
Yeah.
and just get familiar with it,
Okay.
you can do that. No problem at all. But the aim is, like we did with Leticia before, the aim is to say this without taking a break, without stopping. All right? The aim is to produce that one chunk of words as one stream, without interruption, without pauses, without break. Okay?
Okay.
And I know it's very hard and challenging, but I will show you how to get there.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start.
Can I?
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't go to Aaron's party.
You would have had a lot of fun if you had gone to this party.
Okay, great. So that's how we're going to say it, right? You would have had a lot of fun if you'd gone to his party. You would have had a lot of fun if you'd gone to his party. What do you hear from me? I said, you would have had a lot of fun. You would have had a lot. You would have. I said, would have. I didn't say would
Looks
have.
like one.
That's
only
right. It's like
word.
one. Would have. Had a. Had a. Had a. Would have had a. Lot of. Lotta. So now it's like, would have had a lotta. Would have had a lotta. You would have had a lot of fun, and fun being the main word. You would have had a lot of fun, and that's why when you see me say fun, you see a. It's like I say.
For me, it's another word.
Pause. Yeah. I don't want to say a bad word here. Right? You would have had a lot of fun. But take your time when you say fun. And how do we, because it's a short word, a short vowel, fun. We don't say fun or fun.
Yes.
Right? We say fun. So in order for you to show him that he missed out on a lot of fun, you make the f a bit longer. So you would have had a lot of fun. You would have had a lot of fun if you'd gone to his party. If you'd gone to his, don't say gone to his, say gone to his,
Gone to his.
gone to his,
Gone to his.
yeah. If you'd gone to his party.
Gone to his party.
Party is very important because that's the main idea. If you'd gone to his party.
Party.
See, I opened my jaw a bit wider. Party.
Party.
The wider you open your jaw, the longer the vowel is, and the more stress you're putting on that word. So you would have had a lot of fun if you'd gone to his party.
You would have.
All right, say the line.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't go to Aaron's party.
good. And of course, Aaron is this is the guy who organized the party. I didn't go. I didn't.
I didn't go.
I didn't go to Aaron's party.
I didn't go to Aaron's party.
Beautiful. Okay.
You would have.
Okay,
It's difficult to say like.
I know. You would have had a lot of. So don't think about. Don't read. That's the thing. Now you know the words, right? So listen to me. You would have had a lot of. You would have had a lot of fun.
You would have a lot of fun.
Woulda.
You woulda.
So let's break it down.
Okay.
Woulda. Hadda. Lotta.
Lotta.
Woulda had a lotta.
Woulda had a lotta.
Okay. See now you're producing like 5, 6 words without thinking, right?
Yes.
Okay. You would have had a.
You would have had a.
You would have had a lotta.
You would have had a lot of.
You would have had a lot of fun.
You would have had a lot of fun.
If you'd gone to his
If
party.
you'd gone to his party.
If you'd gone to his party.
If you'd gone to his.
No. If you'd gone to his
If
party.
you'd gone to his party.
To his.
To his party.
If you'd gone to his party.
If you'd gone to his party.
So we're not saying the t in to. Why? Because the n in gone is stronger than t. It's like dominating. It walks around. It's like beats the d, the t. So when you have n and t, that's why you hear internet. People don't say internet. They say internet. Why? Because n before t always dominates, right? So the t gets deleted, right? Entertainment. International. And now gone to, gonu. Gonu is. Right. You would have had a lot of fun. You would have had a lot of fun if you'd gone to his party.
You would have had a lot of fun if you'd gone to his party.
She didn't even read the words.
Exactly, yeah.
She didn't even need to read it, right? So what does that do? Now, she learned how to say woulda, hadda, and let me remind you that this grammar structure is very common. So you'll change the verb, you'll change had, but you can say, I would have eaten, or I would have run, I would have walked, I would have whatever. You can replace that verb for another, and you can keep woulda, lotta. All these things you have to know already. You cannot think about every single word. You have to know how things are said. And if you stop thinking about every word separately, if you think about language as blocks, it gets easier, right? Yeah. Grammar gets easier. You don't think about conditional 3. I'm teaching you conditional 3 right now. It's called conditional 3 in grammar, and they spend like hours, on the board writing You need to be familiar with this first, right? And then life will teach you, because if you go to parties, if you hang out with friends or whatever, you hear people speak that way, and you understand. That's how they use if in the past, right? You would have had a lot of fun if you'd gone to his party. Then you don't think about every word anymore. Do you get it?
Yes.
Give it to me one more time. Impress me. Do it.
Okay.
Now. Come on.
I didn't go to Aaron's party.
Who?
I didn't go to Aaron's party.
Oh, I didn't hear N in Aaron's.
Aaron's.
Okay, that's good.
I didn't go to Aaron's party.
You would have a lot of fun if you'd go to this party.
Not gone.
No.
Gone. Okay, one more time. Almost there. Okay, go.
Almost there.
You would have a lot of fun if you... let's try again. Sorry.
You would have had a.
You would have had a...
Not have, had a.
Had a.
Yeah, it's past participle.
If
So
you
would have had a.
If you had gone...
No, you would have had a.
Sorry, can you repeat?
You would have had a.
You would have had a.
Yeah, you would have had a.
You would have had a.
You would have.
You would have had a.
Okay. You would have had a lot of fun.
You would have had a lot of fun.
That's it. You would have had a lot of fun, and make fun very audible, very, very clear. You would have had a lot of fun if you'd gone to his party.
You would have had a lot of fun if you'd gone to his party.
It's so fluent. It's just beautiful.
Love that.
You're a star.
But I'm
You're a
shy.
star.
No.
Of course you're
I'm
shy.
really
See? I can see from the redness of the face. It's okay.
It's not easy.
It's expected. If somebody was doing that to me, I would be reduced to nothing. I would be like,
That's totally fine. Especially the cameras.
That's normal.
Great job.
But see, in the course, the first thing I do, I'm not teaching right now. I train teachers to do it. But the first thing we do, the first day, we tell everybody that this classroom is the safest place to do this. You're going to get interrupted. You're going to be asked to repeat. We're going to be screaming. We're going to be shouting. But it's all fine, because it's like a lab. It's like a laboratory, right? It's okay to try things out. You've got to make mistakes, and it's not. If you don't make mistakes, you cannot make it happen.
Exactly.
You cannot. Yeah. You have to make mistakes. I mean, if you don't make mistakes, I cannot correct you. So you need to make mistakes, and guess what? The more you repeat, the better you get, right? And the more you understand what's happening. And so most students that do the 10-week course, and then they go out there, they find jobs, whatever, they always come back to me and tell me, we owe you so much. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to get a job. We wouldn't have been able to do this, because they felt much more confident. Like they could just make more friends. They could you know, go to a job interview and feel like, yeah, I'm not terrified. I can speak. I can introduce myself. I can talk about my background. I can talk about who I am without stumbling and faltering and, you know, sounding like a fool. So that's the aim of it. That's what that does. It gives you confidence as well, right? It builds up your confidence. It makes you feel like a $1 million bucks. You know?
That's great. Fabulous. I love that.
Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you.
To
Thank you
have
very
you
much.
here.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Do you know what I discovered? What I discovered? You know what?
Tell me.
I need to back to class.
Come on, Sheila.
I
No.
love it.
You are overflowing with
love
confidence.
it.
You have a
Get
lot
this,
of
get
confidence.
this. Look at that.
I love it. Really.
That's
Scots
the way.
English College,
Yeah.
the only college that delivers the pronunciation and communication
How long
course.
is the course?
It's a 10-week course, and it's for intermediate level and higher. We do have for lower levels, but we're not offering it right now. So now it's only available for intermediate, upper intermediate, and advanced. So you would have to be at least intermediate to be able to join this course.
Yeah.
The reason being is you have to be able to understand what you're being told in
And
the
enjoy the
classroom.
class, right?
They have a lot of fun there. It's a riot. It's just a riot, and it's hard in the beginning because you know you're not used to getting screamed at and shouted at, and you know you're not used to dealing with a language like that. But you get used to it, and once you get the hang of it, you know you enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
Your next students here? And
Probably,
the,
yeah,
and the second
100%.
one?
Anytime. Yeah, but you guys are fantastic.
Gente, muito legal essa aula. Nós aprendemos muito aqui, né? Ficamos aqui falando, aprendendo. E realmente acho que eu tô precisando voltar, porque
E
o negócio.
observando
É
como
muito
eles
legal.
falam,
É muito legal. E é por isso que às vezes a gente vai pegar o ônibus e as pessoas não entendem, porque realmente pronúncia é muito bom. Bom, se vocês querem saber um pouquinho mais desse curso, a SCOTS é nossa parceira, eles estão aqui com a gente. Vocês podem mandar inbox, Sheila, quero saber dessa escola aí, como que faz esse curso e outros cursos também. É uma escola que está em Sydney, eles estão aqui em Sydney, então fala com a gente, chama a gente no inbox, fala, Sheila estava apresentando lá um negócio lá no podcast que eu quero saber como é que é. Marca uma consultoria com a Right Now Study, que também é parceira dessa escola fantástica, e a gente vai explicar para vocês maiores detalhes, mas a gente realmente queria trazer para vocês, né, o que tá tendo de legal aqui na Austrália, né, e trazer também uma interação, né, com as aulas, com Informação Real Oficial hoje, hein?
Sim,
Agora a gente trouxe direto da fonte mesmo. Did you get it?
I got the gist of it.
Patrick, thank you so much for your time to be here with
Thank
us.
you
You
very
know,
much.
it's
Shukran.
Yeah. Now that was said perfectly. You have a perfect Arabic accent.
one more language.
I'm trying to learn a little bit of Arabic. As everybody knows, my wife is Palestinian, so.
Here you go. Yeah, they're pretty close.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for the wonderful opportunity. You know, great partners, and it's a great opportunity for me to come here and talk to you both and just, you know, promote SCOTS and promote our partnership. There's never been a great time. You know, there's never been as good a time to join SCOTS and to come and talk to you guys, because now you know about us more than anybody else.
Yes.
You know our courses, you know our quality, you know our passion, you know our hearts. You know, we must be doing something right. We love our students, we care about them. It's not all about business. Of course, we are a business. At the end of the day, we're a business.
Yeah.
But our business is to really help those guys, you know, get a new voice. Just get a new voice in life, and that voice will open so many doors in front of you. And so nobody's more qualified than you guys right now to speak about us and to tell everybody about us and what we do.
Thank you.
Patrick, the most
you so
important
much.
for us is to provide for our students quality, and I'm pretty sure SCOTS has a great quality.
Vouch for
Thank
it.
you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks,
Tchau,
guys.
pessoal! Fica por aí, compartilha esse conteúdo, Will, com todo mundo que quer aprender inglês, porque esse aqui vai voar. Sabe aquele aviãozinho? Vai ficar, mandando pros amigos, mandando pra quem quer ir pra Austrália, né? Então é isso aí, gente. Obrigado, valeu!
Valeu, tamo junto. Thank you. See you later.